Hey everyone, welcome to Wild About Art Hub channel. I'm Sana Asad and I am sharing few of my favorite lessons inspired by Henri Matisse. Whether you are a teacher, mother or a student, these lessons will help you flow your creative juices. Learn painting, sketching and how to use different medium as a mixed media technique. This lesson I introduced to my student aged 7 to 9 years old and they were able to learn how to sketch, use different patterns, blending, shading and a lot of different elements of art. In between this lesson, I will also introduce you Henri Matisse, his life and how he started painting. So let's begin the lesson.
For this project, all you need is watercolor paper, oil pastel, acrylic paint, or any other medium you already have it. I'm using acrylic paint. If you have watercolor, you can use watercolor as well. Watercolor paper has to be 300 GSM. If you don't have watercolor paper, you can also use mixed media paper or you can use any thick paper. Start by lightly sketching horizontal and vertical line as your guide to know where exactly your goldfish will be. Think of the simple shapes. Matisse often use outline rather than intricate details. This step is very easy, and if you want you can follow along with me. You can pause the video, stop and replay again. Let's learn about who was Henri Matisse. Henri Matisse was born on December 31st, 1869 in France. Initially, he studied law before turning to art at the age of 20. Matisse believed that colors could express emotions, and he rejected traditional approaches to paint. One of his famous work is The Goldfish, painted in 1912. Matisse often combined complementary color to create vibrancy and energy in his pieces. But wait, do you know what are complementary colors? Later in his life, Matisse turned to a new form of expression with his cutout using colored papers and create striking compositions that are still celebrated today.
So here I'm done with my goldfishes and I'm really liking it. Now this one is slightly different than the one you can see on the side of my table. In this background, I will be adding a lot of leaves and flowers. So I always encourage my students that bring their own ideas into the background, get inspired by the artist, but don't copy each and every element. Bring your own imagination. That's how you own that artwork. Now, before we start painting, we always need to make sure that we know where exactly our background is. Most often, I saw that students start with their main object, which is the fish in this one, or the table. I prefer to start from the background, so in case if I'm making any mistakes, I can still cover them. Think about your background and then begin painting whatever colors you want. I'm going with a lot of greens and yellows. I don't have green, but I will be mixing blue and yellow, adding white to create the tone of the color, and then finish my painting first the ground part and then the wall area. Here I also share a little tip for you to create different shades and tones of color in one painting by not mixing them on a separate plate. Take little by little, like a double loading technique, like dip your brush in one side and then use the other side for other color, and go with small circling motion. In this way you create a very pretty impressionism style and you will be able to see more than one color in your background. But if you want to create a very solid effect, then definitely just one shade is enough. For the wall, I'm using pink, white and yellow to create warm tones because the ground area is more on the cool side. So let's create some warm tone. To bring the transparency in my glass, I have to go under the glass area so the background will still show, and then I will start painting my water and the fish and the table. Matisse love bold colors, so don't be afraid to be vibrant. This lesson can also be done in monochromatic if you wish to learn how to create values of color, means how to create shadows and tones by adding white and black into it. But right now I'm making it all colorful. In Matisse's original piece, he uses blues and greens and create an underwater feel, playing with shapes as you go. Remember to add lots of layers because once you will add the layer, your painting will become vibrant. So here I am almost done, but I still need to add a lot of detail. Right now for the table I'm using ochre, white and brown, and as you can see, you can also feel that I'm getting a little bit of greens because the blue is not dry, and when the yellow and browns are mixing with those colors, it's creating a nice pretty shade. So I'm really liking this one, but if you are someone who like just a solid color, then make sure you rinse your brush and then wait for the layers to get dry. Now it's time for me to do the outlining, bold black outlining. You can also use marker or oil pastel or crayon for outlining. I prefer using acrylic paint, so the outlining will be nice and bright. Now after the layers and everything is dry, adding some different strokes, splatters, and here you go. My painting inspired by Matisse is ready. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more art tutorials, and share your goldfish painting with us on social media. #WildAboutArtCo. Until next time, keep creating.